Hi, I'm Kenny Elizabeth, and today we're going to go through a step-by-step of how I did a black and white self-portrait. I used Procreate and sketched myself out beforehand and then transferred it onto the canvas and retraced it out. The edges, I did a black and a darker teal, fading on the two sides. Then I started on the background, first working from the corners with black and then just mixing it into whatever color I wanted to. I used blue, the same teal for the edges, a red, and a yellow. Doing the background with the colors, I used tape and put paint on it and just kind of stamped it onto wherever I wanted to make an abstract design. For another abstract design on the background, I used Lego tires and put paint on them, then ran them over the face of the canvas. I'll use things like an eraser, a dinosaur, and a slipper later on, as well as another Lego piece. Then on the top, I used silver first and just started dripping it from the top of the canvas. I also added more colors like blue and red and a little bit of green as well. As well as making big drips from the top, I ran some paint over the rest of the background on the canvas. I used this little container and mixed up 4 different shades of gray, then put a wet paper towel over top to keep the paints good till I wanted to use them for the grayscale face. I used brown, blue, and red for the base of the sweater, mixed them together to do a design on top once that was dry. I used a sponge brush to do this just because I felt like it added more texture than just doing a regular bristle brush. I outlined a bit of a pattern on my shirt there, the one that I was wearing the day that I did that. I also put white on a slipper and just stamped it onto the canvas for more of a textured design. Instead of black, I used white this time on the Lego tires and then over the sweater design. Once that was done, I set up my fan and let all the drips and wet paint dry. Next I did stamps. I did some with ink, but the ink didn't really show up that well against the paint, so I used paint on the stamps instead. Then I pulled out my 4 shades of gray and started with the darkest one and just outlined my face. Then I took my next lightest shade of gray, did another outline around the face, and did things like the eyes, nose, and mouth, and a bit of the neck. I took my lightest shade of gray and just did the rest of the face in that. After the main portion of the face was done, I did a little shading, bringing in darker or lighter grays where I needed. Then it was time to move on to the hair. I started with the lightest shade of gray rather than starting with the darkest one because I decided to do the highlights first. Most of the hair was just texturing with the darker or lighter shades of gray. Usually the tops being lighter where the light hit on the picture I took, and the bottoms and back being a little bit darker. Done with the hair, I did a few highlights on the face with a lighter gray just where it would be natural. Then I started on the eyes, doing almost white for the background and then outlining and adding details on them. Once the eyes were done, I outlined the face and hair, and then we were basically finished. At the very last minute, I decided to do a pinecone design because I thought it would look cool, and it did work out pretty well. And that was the finished product. This has been Kenny Elizabeth. Thank you for watching.